That was a little too quick.
It's 2 o'clock and it's time for episode number 70 of What Does This Button Do? It's an educational show about smartphones and tablets from the Geeks on Tour. That's us. Hey, everyone.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, sweetie. I love you. Nice roses.
Love you too.
Thank you so much.
And these are our pictures, and I'm going to use this to talk about Picasa in a minute. This collage was done using Picasa on a PC.
Great. So where are we now?
We're at home in our home studio in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, with fiber optic internet. Although our internet from the RV last time was pretty good.
We did. We had a really good show.
Verizon is awesome.
Cool. All right. Well, hi there. I'm Jim, and together here with my wife, Chris, we are Geeks on Tour. Do you think your smartphone is smarter than you? And do you have questions about your iPhone or your iPad or your Android, any of those devices that are just all around us these days? And how do you learn about these amazing devices?
We are geeks who teach. We are constantly learning, and we share it with you. We think the best way is on a regular basis. So that's why we have this weekly show. We pick a topic each week, and here we are. Our website is geeksontour.com. Please visit, and there's lots of information there.
Okay. So today's show, I think we have a good show. We have news. Google is retiring Picasa. My goodness gracious, you should have heard the wailing and gnashing of teeth around the internet this week with that announcement. But who knows? It could be a good thing. And our beginner's lesson is navigating with Google Maps. App of the week is not NFL. It's going to be the Google Cardboard and my Viewmaster and some of the virtual.
He has been playing with it.
I have been messing around with it. I don't know how you. No, it's research. It's not play. Very important to understand the difference.
Got it.
Okay. If you have questions, ask them here in the comments. We'll try and get to the answers here during the show live. That would be fun. If you miss any parts of the show, want to review it, all of the shows are recorded on YouTube on our channel. You can always find the links there at geeksontour.com/weekly show.
And who are the Geeks on Tour? Well, in case you're joining us for the first time, please visit our website at geeksontour.com. Right on the home page, if you scroll down a bit, you'll see our talking heads, and click there. There's a little video. So yes, our quick tip today. It's not necessarily a tip, but I just felt I had to talk about it because it's pretty much all I've been doing for the last couple of days is reading forum posts and trying to figure out what's going to happen. So what is the deal? 2 days ago, Picasa announced, or Google announced, that Picasa will be retiring. As of March 15, they will no longer be supporting the desktop application. So you won't be able to get it from picasa.google.com anymore. It will continue to work just as it does today, but they will not be developing it further, and they have no future plans. So that's for the desktop software called Picasa that we have been teaching for 10 years, wrote a book on, have a website on. Anyway.
It's not going to die just because it's retired. Think of our retired friends. They're not dead yet. Please don't kill them off yet. All right.
Picasa Web Albums is a little bit more of an issue. All photos that are uploaded to Picasa Web Albums are already accessible on Google Photos. So that's not really any big deal. But Picasa Web Albums had some stuff that Google Photos doesn't have, tags and comments, and that was part of Picasa Web Albums only. They are going to create a new place, kind of an archived Picasa Web Albums. Okay. So you'll be able to go there and see all the past data, but you won't be able to create new albums or use the album sorting. That's probably one of the biggest things that they need to improve on Google Photos. Now, those changes will take place on May 1st. And then the last part of the announcement, the third part, was that any developers that used the API, the hooks into Picasa for developing their own programs, there's going to be some major changes there. So what does it mean to you?
Good question.
First of all, as Jim said, just because they're retiring, it doesn't mean it's going to die. If you have Picasa on your computer for doing things like that Valentine's Day collage, there'll be absolutely no change. You will not see any change. Picasa on your computer will still work with the photos on your computer and do everything that you've always done with it. Like, what's that that program that you use?
Photo
Draw.
Hey, it's only from what? Office 2000.
Yeah,
it's only 16 years old.
This is the best program. Works. We always say the best program is the one that you know how to use. Well, 15 years ago, Jim learned how to use this program called Photo Draw.
And it just does such cool things that I can't do with other.
It has been retired.
I can do with other programs, but I choose not to.
I think it's been retired since even before Windows XP, but somehow he keeps getting it to work. You've even gotten it to work with Windows 10, right?
Oh, yeah. It works.
So I expect that same thing with Picasa. If you like the way Picasa works with the pictures on your computer, you can keep it.
They're not going to improve it, and if you have problems with it, you're not going to get any support. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, but how's that phrase go?
But Chris is still here. She is still the Picasa expert.
Oh, I'm still going to use Picasa.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, but the web interactions will be affected. So Picasa on your computer has a couple of buttons. It has one to upload to web albums. It has one to email. It has some synchronizing with the web. Those will start having problems, and those problems will not be fixed.
But there's other ways to do it.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There's another way to do almost anything.
Almost anything.
Now, Picasa Web Albums, the existing Picasa Web Albums will still be there, but the display methods, for example, in Picasa Web Albums, you can give one link to all of your public online web albums. There is no such command in Google Photos. All the pictures that you've uploaded to Picasa Web Albums are still there. You can see them using Google Photos. That's seamless. You don't have to do anything, but some of the functionality that you're used to with the Picasa Web Albums interface may go away. Blogger links to photos will still work fine, nothing to do. And I do plan to, this was just announced on Thursday. This was just announced on Thursday. So I'm going to let the dust settle a little bit and keep learning as much as I can. And I'll write an article on the PicasaGeeks.com website.
And we have Learning Google Photos website coming on.
Right.
Too,
and
so
that'll either just convert to LearnGooglePhotos.com or I'll make a whole new one called LearnGooglePhotos.com.
Okay. Real quick, Vicki wants to know, what if I buy a new computer and Picasa's gone?
Right, great question. All you need is the setup. So go to picasa.google.com today and download the Picasa setup file. And if you don't, you know, I have a couple copies. And I'm sure there will be plenty of places online that have archived that.
Yeah, we'll get the latest version and probably put it up on our website too.
You know, just like he's been continuing to use this photo draw program, he has the setup files, and that will still work just fine.
Right.
Ooh, somebody said there's an echo.
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com. And you ready for our beginner's lesson, Chris?
Sure.
Okay. Navigating with Google Maps. And this came about because of a conference call that we have on Friday mornings about with a friend up in North Carolina, wanted some specific use for Google Maps. And Chris will tell you about that.
Okay. So we've done some Google Maps in a past episode, but guess what? There's new stuff. So this time we're going to concentrate just on navigation and show you a couple of the new things. First, how can you use Siri to navigate? So I want to just ask my phone to navigate somewhere. We just discovered a great Elks Lodge for RV parking up in Port St. Lucie. So if I use Siri on the iPhone, oh wait, was I supposed to? That's okay. If I use Siri on the iPhone, how do I do that? Long press on the home button. Navigate to Elks Lodge, Port St. Lucie.
Which Elks Lodge? Getting directions to Elks Lodge, Milford Home.
That's not right at all, but
you said Port St. Lucie, and now it's taken us up to the Arctic.
British Columbia? I don't know. But no, it's taking us up to by Poughkeepsie in New York.
Oh, in Connecticut.
To 124 New Haven Avenue.
All right.
North on the Pines West.
But my point is, if I ask Siri to navigate, what map is she going to pull up?
If it's anything like any other Apple, it's going to bring up Apple Maps.
It's going to bring up Apple Maps, right? So that is not what I want. So I'm going to end that. And Apple Maps might be fine. I just want to point out that if you use Siri to navigate, it won't pull up Google Maps. That doesn't mean that you can't talk to Google Maps. You just need to start Google Maps first. So I'm opening up Google Maps. Oh, great. Now what? No thanks. Not now. Always something.
No.
Okay. So instead of using Siri, I can either tap and type here and type Elks Lodge, or I can still talk by tapping on the microphone. Elks Lodge, Port St. Lucie. And that is the right one. Okay, so it got the right one. And I tap on the blue car to say I want to navigate there. And it shows me the route, but it doesn't start navigating because I might change my mind and I might want to walk there. Yeah, or ride a bike. But no, it's going by car, and I tap the triangle to navigate there.
Head west on the Pines West, then turn right to stay on the Pines West.
Now I just want to explain a couple of the things we're seeing. Down at the bottom, it tells you how long it's going to take to get there, how many miles, and what your arrival time will be. Then this little crooked arrow thing will show you any alternate routes. Tap on that, and you can see that there's a gray route. If I should decide, no, I don't want to go turnpike because there's a toll on that, I can
head west on the Pines West, then turn right to stay on the Pines West.
And that's also a handy button to tap on just to see your whole route. Just say, shrink the screen, to see more of my route, necessarily the whole route. And notice what I just did there. It's very responsive. This is something I love about Google Maps, to looking somewhere else. So it's navigating, but for some reason, I need to go over and look at the Tampa area and see what's going on there. If a turn is coming up, then it will still talk to me. The voice turn by turn is still on, but I'm not looking at the route. Tapping on recenter gets you back to this view. Now, what if I want to find a restaurant along the way here? Well, on the iPhone, I can't. That is a new feature that I'm going to show you on the Android in just a second. If I need to search for something while I'm navigating, well, one, I could go over and use Apple Maps to search while this is still navigating.
You could.
But if I want to use Google Maps, I have to cancel this navigation. First, I have to recenter so that I get that information back at the bottom. Then I tap the X. Then I tap the back arrow there, and the back arrow once again and again. Now I am just, and I can exit that. Now I'm just back to Google Maps, and I can search whatever I want to. Okay, now I'm going to show you on the Android. So same thing, I'm just going to go, oh, well, on the Android, though, I can say, okay, Google, navigate to Elks Lodge, Port St. Lucie.
There are 3 listings for Elks Lodge, Port St. Lucie. Which would you like?
Okay, and I can just tap Start Navigating right away. And I think it sees it better if I go this way. And this works the same as on the iPhone in that you have the X and the length of time, the miles and the arrival, and the alternate routes, and also the options. If you want to see traffic along the way, or if you want to see satellite view.
Now, satellite view is going to use up more data as you're traveling on the map. Just the internet is only being used for the maps, and your GPS information, your location, is just through the GPS receiver. That does not use data.
Traffic will use more data too.
Exactly. So all the things that you turn on there are going to use a little bit more data.
Which is why if you really don't need them,
turn them off.
Turn them off. And recenter. Recenter means show me exactly where I am and show me which way I'm going. This little compass needle is cool too. If you tap that once, and when it says N, you know that your map is looking at north at the top. If you tap it again, it turns so that it's following your travel direction. Now, if you want to shut her up,
shut her up.
That's the little speaker here. And that's changed. It used to be on the option, so you can turn the speaker off. Now, here's the new part, and that is search. So I am in the middle of navigating, but if I want to look for a restaurant or a gas station, I can tap search. It's still navigating, and it has a bunch of different choices here. I'm going to choose gas stations. And it shows me the gas stations along the route. Isn't that nice? I tapped somewhere else. Okay. So along the route.
And there's a good chance that it'll have the prices for the fuel at that gas station. They don't all have it, but a lot of them do. So
I keep, I tapped on one and added as a stop by accident. Okay, so
there's an accident along your roof?
And gas stations. All right. And yes, if I say, well, I think we can make it up to West Palm Beach. Let's see what the gas station at West Palm Beach looks like. $2.08. No, we're cheaper than that now.
Yeah, well, the rich people live in Palm Beach, right?
Oh, I know what happened. If you choose one, you can tap add to stop. But if you sit there and stare at it for a while, it assumes that you want it added as a stop, and it just did it for me. Yeah. See how now I have a stop at West Palm Beach and then the destination in Port St. Lucie. If I tap on search now, I can remove that stop there. And now I can search for another one, for example, a restaurant. And now I tap a restaurant and tap add stop. But if you just sit and stare at it, it's going to add it for you. Okay, so that is the new feature of Google Maps that's really pretty cool. I know I would get real aggravated when we're navigating a route and I wanted to search for something and I had to stop navigating in order to do that.
Yeah.
And then if I wanted to navigate to my interim destination, then I had to re-navigate.
Then you have two different destinations. Now this is so much better.
Of course, in the RV, we just use a different GPS. We have so many of them going on. Okay, but there's even more. What somebody asked me if they could make a map that has several. Have I already tried without saying, okay, Google? Whoops. Well, it just works the same as it did on the iPhone without saying, okay, Google. I can just go to Maps. Yeah, my home screen doesn't. All right, so without using okay, Google, I'm gonna, oh, geez, I can't say those words.
It's funny.
I can still, Elks Lodge, Port St. Lucie. And navigate there. But what if we had 3 different stops that we need to make on our way to Port St. Lucie? This technique can only add 1 stop. So for 3, you have to do it on the computer. But you can do it. Google Maps on the computer. You can create a route with 3 stops, and then you can grab the URL for that whole route and email it to yourself. So let me show you that, and then I'll be done. So in my email, I've sent myself a route to Elks Lodge with 3 stops.
And you created this on the computer.
Yeah.
I like creating the routes on the computer because you have that big screen and it makes it so much easier.
But then how do you see them on your phone? There's a trick.
There's the trick. We're going to teach them.
And I just tap on the link that I sent to myself, and it opens up Google Maps. And check this out. It has 3 stops in between here and Port St. Lucie. And if I tap navigate, it's going to navigate to the first stop. That's only 13 minutes away. When I get there, it will automatically start navigating to the next stop. And when we pass that, it'll navigate to the next stop. Okay. So that just proves that it does work. It's navigating to the first stop. Then the next section is light blue, but it will turn dark blue and it will navigate when we get there. So how did we do that? Well, there's a little bit too much to show you, but I wrote an article on it. So that's what we're going to show you. How do you find an article on Geeks on Tour? So this is geeksontour.com. Articles would be under what menu, do you think? blogs and articles. And there's a link that says all articles. And the one I'm referring to is right away, Google Maps and multi-stop routes. But we have, I don't know how many hundreds of articles.
A bunch.
So if you were looking for something in particular and it wasn't right at the top, how would you do that? Control F for find on this page. And for example, if you wanted to find something on geocaching, there you go.
So notice it opens up a little search
in the upper right-hand corner.
You see that?
And whatever you type in there is what it's going to be searching on this page, not on the web.
And that's all throughout Windows and the browsers. Control F is find on this page if you're in a browser.
So here's the article about Google Maps and multi-stops. First, it talks about adding a stop while navigating, and that's what I just showed you. And then there's creating a multi-stop route on the computer and saving it by grabbing the URL. And if you are a Geeks On Tour member, there's 3 videos that show you how to do those things. Okay.
Excellent.
Now, we said that didn't work on Apple. It might, you know, the next update to Google Maps on Apple will probably have it. Meanwhile, Apple Maps doesn't have multi-stops, but Waze does. W-A-Z-E.
Okay. So Bill's asking, what other spoken commands can I ask Google during navigation?
How to check on her when there's a long silence. I just don't talk to my phone all that much. So I'm not sure. I know there's a
list somewhere.
Yeah.
I would Google it.
Yeah, good
Google
question.
the Google.
I don't know. I know if you tap that search button, then you can tap a microphone. You know, anytime you see a microphone, it means you can tap there and do whatever you could type.
Yeah. And the voice recognition has gotten so good recently. It's just amazing how it does recognize what you're trying to say. You might have to try a couple of times. It happens. It's sort of like talking to yourself. You have to try a few times. Okay.
Or talking to your husband. It's pretty much talking to yourself.
Talking to the wall. Come on now. All right. So.
Any questions?
We
taught Bill a new tip. Control F. I use that all the time.
It is
for searching a web page. Well, for searching anything. For searching a spreadsheet, for searching a document, and for searching a web page.
Got it. Anything else? I don't see any other. What a cool tip. I'm glad we're helping. So you learned something. Okay, here's one. Do you need a data plan for basic navigation?
Well, no.
But you have to have some way of getting that map. So if you have a preloaded map, Copilot is a mapping program that does that. And you can preload the Google.
Yeah, but you still have to have an internet connection. So Wi-Fi, if you have Wi-Fi, you can do it. And then what I have tested and have a new video coming up on is if you navigate while you're on Wi-Fi, then you start on the road, it will keep that route. So as long as you don't deviate from the route, that is in your phone and you don't need data while you're driving.
Okay, I think that should answer that. All right. Well, Geeks on Tour. Look at that. Like us on Facebook. Go to our Facebook page. Our app of the week. Oh, this is something that I have been playing with, and I have to get there. Ha ha. Whoa.
Just don't do that when you're at the top of the stairs, okay? Really, you have no idea what is around you when you have these things on.
Right.
That's
This is
what
my
virtual reality.
ViewMaster virtual reality viewer. And it is, I've just been having so much fun with it. You can see things. You can make these yourself. On the left side there, Google Cardboard, you can buy the pattern and fold your own. You have to buy the lenses for it though, but they're cheap that you can. The ViewMaster, the one that I got, is only what, 20 bucks, less than 20 bucks. It's made of plastic. It's made by Mattel. They're the toy makers, and you put your phone in here. No, we can't see it doing that, but okay. And it has clips there to hold it in. And there's a camera app that I got. So I can actually take pictures using this phone or any phone, but it works so well with my Google phone. This is the Google Nexus, and I can take pictures. And you can see how they're displayed right in there. So when I close it up and I look through the lenses there and I move my head essentially in here, I'm seeing the movement of whatever picture I took.
And the two sides are coming together to make 3D.
So
right?
That's the stereo, but it's also a panorama. So I can take a panorama using the phone, and the Google Cardboard app will convert it to something that I can see using this. This is getting to be so much fun. Now I have another slide here. Okay. I just did a Google search on Google Cardboard VR, virtual reality videos, and you get all of these, I mean, some amazing things. One of the things I downloaded was a roller coaster, and you put this thing on, and you probably should be sitting down when you do it. I think a really good thing to have would be a swivel chair, so you can spin while you're looking at these things. But you can find all kinds of different virtual reality videos. There are some games. I have one that I like to play. It's a snowman where you can it's a snowball fight, and you're throwing snowballs by pulling the trigger. It is just so much fun. So if you have not tried any of these Google Cardboard and virtual reality toys, basically, I mean, I can't call them anything but toys, but it uses your regular phone. And there's an app. It's a free app from Google. You download, and then you get one of these viewers, or you build one of these viewers, and you have yourself some virtual reality stuff going on.
Now, I know Jolin's been using that. Have you found any practical use for it?
I'm a space commander.
Well, he is a space cadet, so that's...
Okay, that's true. So that is my app of the week. It is Google Cardboard and Google Cardboard apps. I think it's a cool thing to do. Give it a try. I think you'll like it. There's even more. Okay. So that, where'd you go? Oh, that's the one. All right. That's a panorama I took of our backyard. And when that goes into the Google Cardboard camera app, it converts it and it makes it 3D, and it makes it so that when you turn your head, you see all around you. Is that cool? All right. So did you learn something?
I say we had one more question there.
Where you got it?
Dr. Sheldon Cooper. Oh, and what that reminds me that it has been mentioned that this show is kind of like Fun with Flags. Fun with Phones. Maybe we'll change the name. This is Fun with Phones.
Okay, here's a real question though. Can I use Picasa on my Mac and on my laptop PC and move photos and albums back and forth?
Yeah. Yes, and not automatically. I mean, they're just your picture files. So the pictures are JPEGs. You can copy, and I have a video on importing all photos from your Windows into a Mac for use with Picasa. Yes, you can.
Okay.
And one of them said, how do I create and save a map showing my travels for the year? No, oh, where'd it go? Sorry.
Oh.
Down, it was down further. I was pointing to the, how do I create and save a map showing my travels for the year? You do that with Google My Maps, and we have several videos on how to do that. If you take a look at our blog, geeksontour.blogspot.com, there's a tab for maps. We have made a map of every year of our travels, and using My Maps, you can have pictures on every marker and links, and it's awesome. I love making maps with My Maps, but that's on the computer. That's not on a phone, which you can see them on a phone, but you can't create them.
John says, I find I enjoy using my new ViewMaster once a week or so.
Just for fun, huh?
Yeah, just for fun. Too much fun. Can't have too much fun.
Okay.
All right. So back to did you learn something? True or false? To give a voice command for Google Maps using an iPhone, you use Siri.
False, because if you give a voice command on Siri, you're going to get Apple Maps. So you need to open Google Maps first, then tap the microphone for it to hear your voice command.
So you're using the Google's voice command and not Siri.
Right.
Okay. How do you turn off the voice telling you where to go?
You push him over
I
you
understand.
Push him out the door.
Duct tape works too.
On the Android, it's a little speaker that's showing up right on the screen. You can tap on that and turn it off. On the iPhone, it's still under the 3-dot menu.
Okay. True or false? If you're in the middle of navigating, you need to exit navigation mode to search for something in Google Maps.
You still do need to on the iPhone, but with the latest update on the Android, you can search for something while it is still navigating.
And I expect that'll probably come to the iOS.
I expect so. That's the way it works.
And how, let's see, while navigating to a destination, you can add how many extra stops?
1.
Only 1.
Only 1.
Okay.
So far.
How do you find a Geeks on Tour article about creating multiple destination routes with Google Maps?
Go to geeksontour.com, click on the blogs and articles, and then you can use, right now it's right at the top, but Control F will search, and you could type the word route or something like that, and you will find it.
Okay. So what's weekly? What's the web page that lists all of our weekly shows?
Geeksontour.com, weekly show.
And the web page that lists all of our recent newsletters.
Geeksontour.com, the menu item is blogs, articles, newsletters is under there.
Perfect. And benefits, what benefits do you get from joining Geeks on Tour?
Access to all the tutorials. The prepared tutorial videos as opposed to these live sessions.
And she did 4 videos.
I did 4 new videos yesterday.
So
all on Google Maps.
Wow.
And My Maps.
Yours, not ours.
My Maps.
Okay.
You can also ask questions on our members Q&A forum, and you get the show notes for these shows.
Okay. Well, we do invite you to become a member at geeksontour.com. It's cheap and it's well worth it. Next time.
Well, I think we're going to do Google Photos versus Picasa, even though it's not. Google Photos is a smartphone thing. Picasa is not, but people have a lot of questions, especially with the announcement that Picasa is going away. So I think we might do a whole show on that next week.
Okay.
Depending on what I learned this week.
Right. Well, we'll still have a beginner's tip and an app of the week, too. So click to make sure that we know that you're coming. Leave any questions there in the comments, and we'll try and get to those live during the show. And I think it's about time to get out of here. What do you think?
Well, I think there's a button here I can press somewhere that'll turn this off. What about this button? What does that button do? There we go.
I can't see the screen when you do that.
What about this button?